if you come like they came, if you believe like people in the Gospels believe, if you humble yourself like they humbled themselves, if you cry out to Him like they cried out to Him, if you have faith like they had faith, if you pray to Him like they prayed to Him, if you act your faith like they acted their faith, you will receive like they received. No question about it. You believe it? Because Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Come like they came. Man came in one of our meetings in the village. He heard about the meetings. He walked long way. He walked on crutches. His name was John. As I recall, he was 3 days en route. This happened recently, not very long ago. 3 days en route on these crutches, hobbling along the road. Crude crutches, not nice crutches like you have. Crutches that you can concoct in the village. Paralysis. But he heard that there was a white man telling good news to people, and he came. He was far, far, far away from the platform, way out of the edge, under the roof of a little stadium deal out at the far edge. You know, it wasn't very big, but he was out there, leaning against a post. And as we preached and then prayed, he heard a trumpet, a voice come out of a trumpet right up there under that little roof where he was. You know what the voice said? John, you can walk. See, the Lord working with them, confirming His word with signs following. Things are happening in you right now. You may not hear a voice like a trumpet, but something is moving in your life, telling you, this is a time of destiny for me. God did bring me to this place. This is my night to find God, not religion. This church and this preacher don't believe in religion. I've come to the right place. I've come to the right preacher. I've come to someone that's interested in Jesus. I'm interested in Jesus. That's what you're saying to yourself. I like that. I don't like religion. I want to know about Jesus, and I have the feeling this is my night. See, God's talking to you right now, just like He talked to John. John, you can walk now. Well, it startled him, so he thought it was me talking from the platform. And since I seemed to be the important white man there that was giving all these big words out to the people, if I said it, it must be true. So he laid aside his crutches and found out he could walk. And so he started to the platform and came up there and told us with the other people. I didn't know anything about it. And when he got up there, he thanked me. Oh, he thanked me for telling him that he could walk. I said, John, what are you talking about? And he explained it. Well, he said, your voice came right over the loudspeaker and said, John, you can walk. I said, John, that was Jesus. That wasn't me. Jesus is alive. He's not in the tomb. He's not dead. He's alive. He loves you. He thought that was so wonderful. He was healed. Come to Jesus like they came in the Bible. In England, it's difficult to come and strip ourselves, strip out of our mind our old religious culture, you know, that never got you anywhere. Come clean. Come new. Come with the barnacles scrubbed off. That's the way you've come tonight. I know a guy that came, well, he walked a long time from a village to come to our meeting, and one of the churches there in town found out about him and let him stay in a little room there on the side of the auditorium. And he had the most repugnant cancer. It was terrible. It was as big as 2 fists on the side of his throat, and it was open, purulent, terrible, offensive. The odor was really awful. Well, the church was in trouble because it stank. It smelled so bad. The smell was filtering out into the auditorium, and the pastor was worried. And they did everything they could to get him to go home. He wouldn't go home. No, he'd come to the meeting every night and then go back. No, he said, I came to be healed. I know God will heal me. God is healing other people. He will heal me. No, I won't go home. They were stuck. What would you do about that? It's a problem, isn't it? A dilemma. But Jesus says, come all you that labor and are heavy laden. Hallelujah. One night, I'm telling you, God healed that man. I didn't know anything about it. It wasn't my faith. I was just preaching like I am now. I don't know about you. I don't know what God's doing to you. I know this. I know when I preach and announce the gospel, Jesus Christ is at work among the people that I'm talking to. I know that. I know that. He bounded up on the steps, swatting his neck with his hand, hitting his neck, yelling, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, yelling like a fool. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I tried to calm him down. So, what's gone? I couldn't calm him. And about the time I was trying to, here came the pastor running and grabbed me below the hips and stuck me up in the air and started bouncing me and running across. I couldn't get loose. He said, it's gone. It's true, Brother Alder. It's gone. I know. I saw him. It is gone. I said, for heaven's sake, will you put me down and tell me what's gone? You know. And finally, he woke up. That pastor was so excited. He had seen a miracle. Oh, hallelujah. So they told the story. A great big cancer, and he said it was so stinky, and he told about the story and the awful problem they had. Friends, it was gone. There was a dark area. You wouldn't call it a scar. It was a dark area. I guess we wouldn't have even believed the poor villager if that pastor hadn't have made such a big deal out of it. But I'm telling you, I was glad he let me down. I didn't want to fall. But he said, it's gone. It's gone. How does God do that? I don't know. Why did that man have the heart to come? I don't know. That little woman in Nakuru, Kenya, her baby born blind. But not only blind, no eyeballs. How did that little woman have enough courage to bring that child, that little boy, Simeon? Anyone from Kenya? No Kenyans? Because you probably, did you ever hear about Simeon? You hadn't heard about it. You're young, aren't you? Well, it happened a few years ago. Simeon, he's there now. That woman brought that boy and held him in her arms and heard the great man of God preach. It's no credit to me. I didn't know she was there. I didn't know about the little boy. All I know is God is there and here. And His Word is there. And if we preach it and teach it, He will confirm it. That woman believed. And during the prayer, prayed. And after the prayer, that little boy, he didn't have any openings. I never saw a case like it. Many people confirmed it. He didn't have any openings and no eyeballs. Empty sockets, just places. After that prayer, she brought that boy, and he could see. Clearly, he could see, and his eyes opened. She was yelling because his eyes, they opened. Never seen them open. There was no opening. They opened. They had little eyeballs, kind of like a little pea. Little bitty things. And anything he'd do, he'd follow. He just as alert. He could see. Well, the people went crazy with joy because many of them knew him. The next day, we was in the hotel down by the road. Didn't have any windows, had the doors open so that we could get some air. And we heard a big commotion out in the street. And Daisy and me went and looked, and there that woman was out there with her boy, and there was a whole crowd of people. And they were out there marveling at this miracle, and people had accumulated, and the word had spread, and they knew about it. And she was showing them Simeon. And listen, she brought him to the meeting that night. His eyes were just as big and just as normal as any child. Simeon is alive today in Kenya. Well, good eyes, big, beautiful eyes, a young fella. How do you explain that? How do we come to Jesus? Come in humility, come in faith, come believing that he will meet our need. Come believing that what he did for others, he'll do for us. Come believing that Jesus is not dead, but that he's alive. Come believing that he's the same yesterday, today, forever. Come believing that there's nothing impossible